Hello everyone, I've done some splurging. As you can see, I have a bunch of items in my backpack now. And this is all from the supporter pack. I mainly just wanted to get the soundtrack and art book. But this single player game comes with extra goodies. I would have gotten it before, but we get a ton of these intermediate building materials. And I kind of wanted to work my way towards this. We only got 1,000, the other two were already in my backpack. So what does this do? Supporter survival package. Gives a bunch of HP. Bunch of calories, hydration, reduces toxicity, doubles the stamina regen for a full hour. That's insane. 2,000 data, my god. For the LEMs, this one particularly, the supporter shield giver gives 50 shield. This one gives another 20, 15 health, and then 30 stamina. And I guess we may as well switch one out. I'm guessing this one can be put on all of them, right? Like it's green, it's red. It's mostly red, I guess. That's all. The grain, I guess, doesn't have anything to do with it. Right, 50 extra shield ain't too bad. What is too bad, though, is my LEM chest is now full. I think I'll keep the USBs for now. We don't really need data to begin with. The 50 quartz is pretty damn nice, though. Right, now that's out of the way, let's actually get to what we were doing. I want to unlock the big mega press, mainly so we can automate the building materials. However, before that, we would, of course, also need to level up selenium twice, which they need glass for at the moment, which we are producing, but I'll be taking that out, because I do still want to have some in reserve for what we're about to do while waiting. We could also make the synthetic silicon. We don't have the blueprint for that. It also looks like glass gives a bunch more points, so it's like a double win. It is going to take 69,700 points though, so it's going to take a while. Alright, with that on the way, the next big thing is we're running low. We're not running low, but we're not crafting basic building materials anymore. And we still need those. Not only because most of the structures take these resources, but so do the intermediate building materials. So I'm planning to have those go to this cargo receiver here. I got the suggestion of making the entire space flat, which we could easily do by just placing down a bunch of platforms. I'm pretty sure you were able to, like, kind of drag it, right? I kind of forgot how. I know there was a way to, like, multi-place things. Well, we'll look at that at some other point. Not really important for this current second. To make the building materials, I'm gonna do it over at our old spawn base, so I have to go all the way over there. It does mean, however, we need to do some cleanup here. Actually, let's just destroy... I have been lied to. Destroying the base core did not get rid of everything. Well, that's unfortunate. Guess I still have to do it by hand. Alright, I placed the base core back down. There's a button inside of the base core to destroy everything. That is gonna, however, get rid of literally everything. Oh my god. Okay, including the base core by the looks of it. Not really how I expected that to go. We can just leave this on the floor. We'll get incinerated next wave. Also, while we're here anyway, Mowdy Paradise in the comments always leaves fantastic advice. Thank you very much, mate. I don't know how you keep getting all this crazy information that seems to be pretty rare but valuable. But amazing for you for sharing it. One of the things is they said there was a difference between ore veins, and I think I can see it here. You see, this one looks pretty dull, while that one looks a lot more clean. So when I said in the last episode that we are not getting any, like, upgraded ore extractors, while that is technically true, apparently there is a way that we can get more ores. So if we go to this one does 2 a second, or 2 per 2 seconds. Now if we go to the shiny one, this one does 4 every 2 seconds. And you can also see it on the map. This one looks slightly shinier than this one. It looks a little more dull. And this apparently goes all the way up to 8 per 2 seconds. So that's pretty nifty. Alright, it has been a little while. What do we need exactly? Just the raw ores for these basic building materials. That's good. I guess it makes sense because we didn't have access to ours yet at the start of the game. The same thing should be true with wolfram as well, as all the other deposits, basically. Alright, so that's making all the building materials. That can go into a dispatcher. There are various limits I'm already noticing, and that is that we have to connect it all up to basically a singular track, because it only has one input. Alright, so now technically this should work as soon as we power it. And one wind turbine is enough to power everything. That is great. Alright, let's see how it goes, because it's creating 10 every 2 seconds. So 30. Yeah, this is getting bottlenecked real quick like that. How many does it get in there before it starts shooting off? I'm guessing it needs to be full. Right, well then it's working. I'm gonna run back to base. We still have some stuff to set up on that end after all. Right, up next I'm gonna connect this cargo receiver up to 2 different warehouses. Or 2 different storage. Keep saying warehouse. One will be for personal use. And then one can be turned into the better building materials later. We'll come back to it in a bit to see if that actually receives any items. Induction is full. I'm actually going to take it all out, because I have another big plan for this. And that is to dismantle it. Which might sound crazy, but I actually have a big plan. But it needs the complete annihilation of this place. Again. Seems to happen rather often. Alright, good. It seems like we got our first batch of the basic building materials. Well, we're getting a wave, apparently, which kind of comes in a very inopportune time. I mean, when isn't, really? Alright, well, I've removed almost everything. Except for the glass making production. That kind of had to stay. And then there is a rail line that goes all the way to the calcium. We'll fix that once we get towards that location. Basically, what I want to set up today still is a kind of starter hub. And you'll see what I mean with that after the rupture here. Once I start setting stuff up. Right, now that it's very hard to see, it's time for me to explain what I meant. So the way the game works, right, is you need specific items for these specific jobs. However, they constantly change, and you don't always need the same base material. Like at this point in the game, we don't really need the raw ores, or we don't really need the bars. Heck, sometimes, for a crafting recipe, we don't even need titanium rods. We would need sheets, for example. Well, setting this up every single time can be kind of annoying. So what I want to do, using the dispatchers as well as receivers, I want to set up a centralized hub, where we send titanium, helium, wolfram bars, stuff like that. And then we can easily pick and choose which ones we need. So first of all, let's choose a location for titanium, for example. And I'm probably going to plunk that, like, right here. I'm debating whether or not I should do 2 of them. It is probably a better idea, because otherwise we're going to bottleneck it real bad. This glass machine is going to go after a little while, so this space will become free. So we call this one Titanium Bars 1. Similarly, this one's going to be number 2. Then let's set this up. I want all of them to go to 3 separate smelters. Alright, with that, they've all been connected. Now the fun part is setting them all to titanium bars. Alright, time for the dispatchers. I've been thinking on this, and I think I'm gonna have 4 of them. Because as we saw before...
This destination. Selenium thanks you for the order. Your work is restoring their faith in the prison system.
Well, ain't that nice? Yeah, as we saw before with the other materials, with the basic building ones, 3 of them are kind of a lot for one dispatcher. Now, this does produce a lot less items, so this could go a lot better. But this also has the added bonus that if we ever need titanium bars somewhere else, we can just switch out where the destination is in one of them, and we get titanium bars in that location. Alright, so this one needs titanium bars. Go to bars number 1 for now. Why are you beeping? Oh, whatever. Seems to be alright. It has no power. But it's blue. Or at least the platforms are, I guess. Did it really take that much power? And we're fine on power game. What the hell? Oh, no, never mind. I think it's not talking about the dispatchers. It's talking about the receivers. Yeah, those don't have any power. However, that's very easily fixed by just connecting them up. There we go. Now they should go, right? Oh, there they go. Or at least 2 of them. Well, the rest still seems to be loading up, so that's fine. Yeah, it seems to be going in here, so that's nice. Let's see how much that's going to give us, and how fast. My only concern with this system is that it might be slower. I mean, there's no might be about it, I suppose. We could hook these up individually, and it's definitely faster. Alright, my big plan for that was create kind of a buffer here. So this should create a nice stockpile of titanium bars. Then if we ever need something, we can hook the machine up to here, and then either make another dispatcher, or hook multiple machines up to here, depending on, like, what we need it for, right? And it's going to be a lot more simple that way. What does it need next? Electronics. I don't think we have access to those, so that's going to be fun. Well, we have it all set up here anyway. The glass, that is. I may as well do future health solutions. And I wonder what this actually did to our cooling system. I imagine these would be pretty pricey for that, right? Because they're that great? Yes. However, that should be fine, as most of them are under different cores, so they should have their own cooling. What do we even get from this? The large habitat? Right. Didn't really care much about that. Let's see what we need for electronics, though. Okay, so we're going to need the electronics blueprint, but we also require synthetic silicon, so we need that blueprint. The synthetic silicon seems to be pretty popular, so we're going to definitely need a ton of that. You guys in the comments said there was an interactive map where we could see which of the blueprints are, or where the blueprints are. Which ones are where, is what I meant to say. We might have to look into that, because besides there being a place here somewhere on the map, or maybe around here, I don't know. I think it's past the toxic zone, though. Actually, no, there should be some more stuff here. Yeah, I'll have to look at that interactive map, see where the blueprints are. But I don't think I'll be doing that soon. I want to explore on my own first. And then if I can't find it, then we'll take a look at that map. And let's see, we have 4 ore extractors here too. I think we could have more on this one, right? Yeah, there's one more spot. I don't think we need to, per se. Alright, well, let's start setting up the exact same system. Alright, so once I set all these smelters to wolfram, and I guess set the output of the dispatchers as well, everything should be working for the wolfram bars. Alright, there we go. It seems like it's working. That's pretty neat, because that means we have titanium here, we got wolfram here. We also unlocked a new recipe. I'm going to use up some of the glass that we have to unlock 2 new recipes even. Never mind, just 1. We're missing 2 glass. Right, I kind of want to set up a similar system for the helium. That is currently in use, however. Not that that is a massive problem, to be fair. But we cannot just willy-nilly rip it up. Helium should be a lot simpler, though. That's all we realistically need, right? Is one of these receivers. There's no need for smelting. I mean, technically we could have 2 receivers, I guess. But I don't think it's necessary, per se. Seeing as we only have 2 of the nodes. Well, currently, anyway. We'll see how everything goes in a bit. We can always adjust it if necessary. Alright, do we have everything? Yeah, we have enough supplies to make everything on the other side, so that's good. The more annoying thing now is we have to go all the way over to where the helium is at. Then we still have the calcium left to go, which have to be turned into blocks, I think, is what we use more often than just a raw form. If we ever do get to a point where we need the raw version, I guess we can always find another node and connect a receiver and dispatcher onto that. Also, that is some shiny titanium there. That must be one of those elusive 8 or 2 second veins down there. Actually, thinking about it, how much do both of these do? I think this one was 4, right? No, this one is 8. Oh, so this is like a maxed out vein then. And then this one, also 8. Heck yeah. Alright, let's disconnect. Set up a dispatcher. This is one up for helium. And then go to the helium. Doesn't have any power. Right, the power source was over there. Oh, no big deal. Just slap one of those on there. I'm guessing that this is gonna create a massive bottleneck. Yeah, maybe we need 2 dispatchers, actually. Because I imagine they can both go to the same point, right? These just produce so much more than the titanium and wolfram did. And let's see. It's complaining already? Man. I guess on our way, we may as well destroy our old line here, just to clean up the planet a bit. Although, maybe not. Because I can see that that is still pulling helium back there. Actually looking pretty neat from up here. And how's this going? It already has a couple hundred helium in there. That ain't too shabby. Future health solutions going pretty well, too. I think we can literally just take this off, right? We don't really need it. I think the couple hundred that are in here are plenty. I'm just gonna demolish the entire glass production. But once these orbital cargo launchers are done, we can move them out of the way. Alright, in the interest of not boring you guys to death by building the same contraption another time, I'm going to be doing the calcium off camera, seeing as it's literally going to be the same as the wolfram as well as titanium. Leave in the comments below why this is a bad idea. I would love to hear before I start doing even more of it, because I probably didn't think about something. I know the rates are probably not going to be too great. The placements I did them in might still make stuff spaghetti mess, but it's all part of a modular system I have in mind. However, that modular system idea might involve eventually upgrading our base core, because we're going to need a lot more cooling to keep this going. However, it's kind of expensive to do. And not just that, apparently raids can happen on our base once we do upgrade. But honestly, I just looked at it. I don't think it's going to be that bad. Though maybe the mega press and stuff is going to be crazy. But we could potentially just make some of the base materials here. Then send over those materials to another base that has all the mega presses. And it's going to be convoluted and stuff like that. But it's an idea. It's all a work in progress after all. So with that, I hope you all enjoyed. And I'll see you on the next one. Bye everyone.